is going on to the AMC stock family? In today's video, we do have a little bit of a scare in the beginning, but here's where it all changes. I know that a lot of people right now, they think that Citadel is short selling AMC. And yes, while they may be true, the way that the media decides to portray AMC stock is definitely not bullish all the time, and here's why. So we have a negative, or in other words, a bearish article right here. Throughout this video, you guys will understand there's no reason to worry because there are hidden buy orders of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm talking about way over $500,000 being bought of AMC stock. If you would like to hear more, just stay tuned. Now let's just go off with this bearish article first, then we will transition into the more bullish news that a lot of these news articles don't want you to know about. They will try to let you guys know more about this type of news rather than the positive and the bullish news going for AMC stock right now. So let's start. This says that wake up AMC stock. Summer is ending. And it was a rough weekend at the Corner Multiplex. Movie theaters across the country had just $61.6 million in gross ticket sales over the weekend. The weakest box office action in more than 2 months. See, it's already starting off very negatively. And so continuing on, this says that horror flick Candyman was a top draw, but in terms of audience counts, the showing proved to be more trick than treat. This has been the worst weekend performance of the summer season, and the trend is not kind. We've seen box office receipts point sequential declines in 5 of the past 7 weeks, peaking with Black Widow's premiere. That particular week in early July was the only weekend that the industry broke $100 million in ticket sales. And this is what happened every single weekend for movie studios during the 2018 and 2019 peak summer seasons. So this has been a trend, we know that from right here, and they are trying to identify further trends. And so an empty theater is obviously a bad look for the industry, flying in the face of the narrative of AMC Entertainment, in other words, ticker symbol AMC, as one of this year's best stocks, because AMC has been nearly a 20 bagger in 2021. Very true, some people it was even more than that. But the fumbled momentum for exhibitors this summer is defying the otherwise stock chart. Let's take a closer look at what went wrong and why it's too soon to dismiss AMC's chances to get back on track. Right over here, AMC stock family, this is what they're going to tell you, instead of telling you the bullish news that we will get into in just a few minutes. So stay tuned for that and do not worry just yet. So let's go on. It says that the Candyman can't. Well, don't point fingers at Comcast, in other words, ticker symbol CMCSA, Candyman reboot as a cause for the slump. Basically, they're saying do not blame Comcast because this has nothing to do with AMC to that much of an extent that people are saying it is. So it's checking in with a solid 85% approval rating for film critics tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. And you also cannot blame the widespread availability of online streaming options like Netflix, like Disney Plus. This has been an argument that some people are saying for AMC and why AMC cannot do well in the future because they do have competitors like Disney Plus and like Netflix. But in my opinion, that is not a valid argument just because AMC has a very strong movement behind it and people will support AMC in my opinion. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm sure we all remembered when AMC had that deal where the CEO was offering free popcorn to those that were invested in AMC stock. And if you decide to own a share of AMC, then you would get free popcorn. And during that time zone, so many people went to the AMC theaters to support the company. Now, anyways, let's just continue. It also says that an easier culprit to blame right now is what is going on in the economy, are likely keeping people away from indoor social settings, but even that's not a viable lone scapegoat. Box office receipts are 43% below the same time the weekend before the Labor Day holiday weekend in 2019. So again, another trend comparison right here. They're trying to do this so that it makes it evident that AMC is not doing the best. But remember, AMC stock family, we will get to the bullish news in just a few minutes. I know I said that once again, but I just gotta mention that one more time because the way that the news tries to say how negative AMC is, it's kind of shocking and honestly, it's not good. This is the type of news that will create more paper hands because they see that the box office receipts 43% low, almost 50% half of 2019. A lot of the paper hands, they will use this to justify why they should sell AMC. But at the end of the day, everyone that is part of the AMC stock community, we do not let this affect our buys or our sells for AMC because we know the true and accurate news that again, I will be talking about in just a few seconds. And then they point out to another trend. They talk about how other infrastructures, they are not seeing a 43% plunge in sales over the past 2 years. They're completely trying to undermine AMC stock right here, or the AMC company, I should say, because at this point, it has nothing to do with the stock. They're saying that other retail infrastructures, they have not seen almost a 50% drop in sales over the past 2 years. Basically, they really want to emphasize how bad AMC is doing right now fundamentally. And so this summer wasn't supposed to be the great rebirth of going out to the movies. So over here, they try to contradict their previous statement and trying to ease attention just a little bit. But at the end of the day, because they said this, I think that it really does emphasize that from their standpoint, They don't believe that AMC stock is doing the best right now. And so studios that had to delay 2020 and even early 2021 releases are now flooding the pipeline. And so Comcast Universal Studios, for example, was originally set to put out Candyman 13 months ago. Less than 1% of the country saw Candyman over the weekend, and less than 2% of the country saw any movie at the multiplex. Again, a lot of bearish news. And so I don't want to read too much of this just because I would like to see if they have anything to say about the bullish thesis for AMC, and I believe they mentioned this right over here. So the bullish thesis that summer audience would build for the multiplex operators has gone the other way. This doesn't mean that the industry is doomed. It doesn't mean that folks have flocked back home after the initial retro novelty of going back to the movies. Okay, so this is somewhat of a bullish thesis, not entirely. This is like a 75% to a 25% bearish versus bullish thesis, because they do mention that summer was supposed to be a time where many individuals start going back to the theaters. However, that's not the case, and so they also try to contradict that statement yet again, trying to ease attention just a little bit. But again, the main point is really the one that is getting emphasized, but nonetheless, they still do try to mention that no, AMC is not going to be doomed, nor is the movie theater industry, and it doesn't mean that everyone is just going to go back to watching Disney Plus or Netflix at their houses, so therefore AMC still may have a chance fundamentally and as a company. And then they talk about at the end 10 better stocks, 10 better companies that we like better than AMC. But here it is, AMC stock family. If you guys have made it all the way throughout this point in the video, you guys are now going to be the ones informed about what's really going on and how that bearish news that you guys just heard about, that is going to be irrelevant when you hear that a Switzerland national bank, in other words, a central bank, decide to buy AMC stock. It also bought some other stocks, which in my opinion, this right here is going to improve the credibility, because some people will try to injustify and invalidate anyone buying AMC. They will call you crazy and irrational for buying AMC, but right over here, we know that they're also buying Uber and Lyft, so you can't really invalidate that statement or that point right there. And so if we continue, this says that the Switzerland National Bank more than quadrupled its position in AMC Entertainment Holdings, again, a ticker symbol AMC, and bought Uber, and also decided to initiate an investment in Lyft, which is ticker symbol LYFT. And they did decide to sell McDonald's. But again, for anyone that is trying to injustify this central bank, which quite honestly, in my opinion, if I knew that a central bank of any kind was buying AMC, that itself would be enough conviction and enough credibility to build my conviction in AMC even more. But again, some people, they just don't like AMC stock whatsoever, and they will try to invalidate anyone that decides to AMC, regardless of who they are. Now let's continue, because we have to talk about the numbers. So AMC stock rocketed more than 27 times in share price for the first half of 2021, and they do try to compare this to the S&P 500, which is about $4,500 in share price, which rose 14.4% in the first half. So you have more than 27 times compared to 14.4%. But these are not the numbers that I'm trying to talk about though, because the numbers are right here. So the Switzerland National Bank bought 637,100 additional shares of AMC in the second quarter to increase its investment in the movie theater chain to 832,741 shares. Make sure you guys share this video with your fellow AMC investors, because I don't believe that many know that there is a Switzerland National Bank involved in AMC stock. I believe that most people think that it's just Charles Schwab, but we actually have international banks that are central that are also buying AMC, and they don't have just a couple of thousands of shares, they have hundreds of thousands of shares. So I'm not going to read the rest of the article just because that would be invaluable to your time. Hopefully you guys understand the general sentiment and the central point. Essentially, a central bank did buy AMC, and that right there is more bullish than any trend that decides to oppose AMC by making the sentiment more negative. So AMC, even though the box office sales may be 43% lower than 2019, that right there has less value than this news right here, in my opinion, just because a bank decided to increase their shares of AMC stock very, very recently, right? August 15th of 2021. And that's why I don't think a lot of people know about this news, because this news has been out since August 15th of 2021, yet not a lot of AMC investors are using this to back up their conviction. So with that being said, AMC stock family, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next video.